Oh, hey Reese, what's going on today? Hi, how you going? It is, of course, me, Reese T. O'Leary of perpelFLAME and Company. Say it with me. perpelFLAME. And you're joining me here for, of course, Soul Sunday. Now, Soul Sunday was something that I recently started and concepted to try and help you all of course, Soul Sunday, it's been used out there. Oprah's used it, a whole bunch of people have used it. But I wanted to start it here with perpelFLAME and Company. Just, a short 10-minute video to get you thinking, to get you inspired, get you looking into things that I love looking into, that I love diving deeper in on. And it is something that I will continue to do, and hopefully you're enjoying it. So today's Soul Sunday is a very special one to me. I mean, they're all special to me. What am I talking about? But today's Soul Sunday, we're going to be talking about something called the Akashic Records. Yes, yes, yes. Now, if you haven't heard of the Akashic Records, you may have heard me referring to the Akashic Records over the years, maybe not. I used to do what was known as Akashic Record Reports, which have since been discontinued, years ago actually. But the Akashic Records, Akashic comes from a Sanskrit word, which is Akasha, and it means ether, right? And the Akashic Records, I've described them as, over the years, as all information throughout all space and time, all that was, is, and is to be, right? Now, this is all information, emotions, our storylines, our paths, our journeys, what we think, what we feel, and not just us as human beings, but animals, plants, anything that has a journey in this creational existence is recorded in the Akashic Records. Yeah? Now, the Akashic Records were first kind of brought into conversation, let's call it, around 1875 in a Theosophical Society started by someone called Madame, I'm going to mess this up, Blavatsky. Helena Blavatsky, yes? Or she was known as Madame Blavatsky, who was a Ukrainian-Russian occultist or spiritualist, you could call her, who first brought this into conversation for us all. And since then, the Akashic Records, or the Akasha, as I refer to it as, has really been kind of bastardized, if you ask me anyway, due to lack of understanding, or due to people misinterpreting or misidentifying, or simply just being fraudsters or charlatans, Now, my understanding of the Akasha or the Akashic Records is that everybody can tap into them. Yes, we can all tap into the Akashic Records or the Akasha, which I know that kind of goes against what I was just saying about fraudsters or charlatans, but there's a very big difference in tapping into someone's soul path or soul journey or soul contracts and pretending to do that. Yes, and there is very, in my opinion, very clear identifiers that you can actually ascertain during a conversation with someone about this that will really make it quite clear. You can always tell when you're talking to a bullshit artist, right? Well, I can anyway, but maybe that's because I'm a bit of a human lie detector, yeah? The Akashic Records over, the years has been used to be able to assist people to understand their journey, their soul path, their soul purpose, on a deeper level. And to be honest with you, I like to describe it as like a giant filing cabinet, that stores everything. It's like a chronological, timeline of all the events, so that something's got to keep record of it all, right? And everything has memory. Just like water has memory, just like, everything has memory, yeah? Even we have a memory, we've got muscle memory, Yeah, I can type very quickly because of my muscle memory. I can get into a car. This is something that amazes me. After not driving a car for a long period of time, I can get into a car, and I've had this moment. I don't know about you, but I've had this moment sometimes because I drive a manual stick shift, right? And I get into the car and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I remember how to drive? You know, is it? And then my hands just go into the motion of, you know, all the things that it needs to do, and I go, oh yes, I do remember, but that's muscle memory, right? Water. We've discussed this in our video in Wellness Wednesday about water. That has memory. Yeah, you can put memory into water. So, what's another way memories are formed? Energetically. Yeah, a lot of times I'll discuss with people the memory of spirits and energy that has been lingering around, you know, memory, so to speak, of these energies, which creates, you know, let's call it hauntings or spirit happenings in different locations, in different spaces. Again, in one of my Throwback Thursday videos recently, I was talking about going to the Manly Q station, which has an extreme amount of activity, spirit activity, and you could say that is the memory living on, right? Even when I do mediumship readings, right, when I'm tapping into a loved one that was once a physical being and has now transcended into the beyond, let's call it, for lack of a better term, just for this video, right? I'm only speaking to the memory of what was, albeit a conscious memory, a memory all the same. You know, many people will hear me referring to the fact that when I'm speaking to your loved ones or when I'm bringing them into a conversation, it's almost very similar to me. Do you remember VHS tapes? I don't know why I always go back to a VHS out of everything. Maybe it's my age. But it's like putting in a VHS tape of, you know, a videotape of your loved one into the player and, you know, watching them pop up on the screen and being able to talk to them consciously. But they're only there from point A to point B, right? It's not their whole self, it's their point A to point B self, which is when they were born and when they died in that lifetime, that very version of them. Memory, right? Memory is fluid. Memory is captured in so many different ways, shapes, or forms. So the Akashic Records is a living, conscious record of every memory, every creation, everything throughout all space and time. Everything is captured in the Akashic Records. Not one thing is missed, yes? And we have the ability, some of us more than others, some of us are more in tune than others, of course. You know, as I said in other videos, are you the Usain Bolt of this community sort of thing? Or is your intuition as good as, you know, a professional? Maybe not, but that's okay. It doesn't mean you don't have access to the Akashic Records. It doesn't mean that you can't spend time developing yourself further to be able to tap into those records. I, myself, over the years have tapped into the records to ascertain information and wisdom on what people refer to as past lives. You know, I've even gone ahead and looked at future lives because time doesn't exist. You know, it's not linear the way we experience it here in this lifetime. Therefore, something that's going to happen to me down the track has already been recorded as well because it's already happened. I know that one's a bit of a paradox for people to try and understand, but it is what is true, okay? And it's very difficult to comprehend that sometimes. And I understand that because it was very difficult for me to comprehend when I first learnt about it. But what I would encourage everyone to do is go out there and learn as much as you can about Madame, let me say the name properly, Blavatsky. I had to put it up on my screen because I can't say it properly. Sorry, Blavatsky, Madame Blavatsky. Sorry, Madame Blavatsky. Your name's a bit difficult for me. And I do have a tiny bit of a speech impediment. So, Madame Blavatsky, thank you for bringing the conscious awareness to us all of the Akashic Records, because Without that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Akashic Records, we wouldn't be able to dive deeper into our conscious understanding of all that was, all that is, and all that is to be. Right? So I encourage you all, go and research the Akashic Records. I hope I've inspired you to do so. I am not the be-all and end-all of this information, as I always like to tell you in Soulful Sunday or many other videos that I do. So it is up to you, and it is incumbent on you to make sure that you do your own research and fact check me, by all means. Oh my gosh, I've watched back a couple of my videos. I'm like, oh shit, said that wrong. It's because sometimes I film a lot of videos, I'm tired, mistakes happen, right? But I'm happy to admit that. 99% of the time though, I've got it right and I'm on the right track anyway, so you know where I'm going with what I'm saying. But it's up to you to make sure you understand what it is that I'm talking about. But anyways, thank you very much for joining me for another Soulful Sunday. I hope that's inspired you to get on top of the Akashic Records. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Catch us on the flip side.